So we'll take a quick look at the various components that are required for um, making a conventional fire alarm panel into a radio conventional fire alarm panel. Ziton has had an addressable version of this for a very long time, and it's very good. And they've the new hub and cluster range and all sorts of other stuff that you can find out a little bit more about on videos here and on the website. But they've recently come out with a specific one for conventional systems, which is, I suppose, based on the perceived need for a more basic system. It works on more or less the same principle, only it takes a conventional zone on your fire alarm panel and it turns that zone into a wireless zone. So in this particular scenario here, I just have one sounder indicator and one multi-sensor to go with that. So they're the exact same. Whether you're doing it on the conventional or the addressable system, you'll use the same units on those. So it's the ZR 7013 PAV for the sounder base with indicator, and that's the multi-sensor. So if you need a heat detector or a smoke detector, you get the multi-sensor, and then you can decide which you need for that. But there's a couple of key components here. So with the conventional system, you need, just to make your conventional fire alarm panel, you're going to need these two units anyway. This is the conventional interface, and what we do here is we install a card here which turns the conventional inputs and output units on the interface card into the equivalent of a zone on a conventional fire alarm panel and the sounder output. So that's how we monitor for fault and sounder on this. This card just plugs in here, these terminals come out, and this is the same interface that you would see if you were using the addressable system and you needed a conventional interface. So this gets this additional card, and that allows us to wire a zone straight into it. So when we what you need is effectively a conventional fire alarm panel, so if a minimum one or two zones, that type of thing, and you will dedicate one complete zone on your conventional panel to the radio zone, and you can put 30 of these devices connected to that radio system then. So how it works is the radio end of it gets terminated into here, and then there's the instructions for this are pretty straightforward. So there's important things about putting your communication, your wireless communicator, conventional wireless communicator, and your input unit. They have to be half a meter apart and a little distance from the control panel as well. So on all the diagrams here, it's showing the Ziton ZP1 panel, but you can use any conventional panel once you have it connected up right. So the instructions are pretty clear on it. When we run through it, it shows where our terminations are for the various loops and everything else. And we've on the ZP1 we obviously have 24 volt AUX output on it, but you'll need to get your 24 volt somewhere. So if your conventional panel doesn't have that, you're going to need to find that somewhere. We have our various outputs. So on this communicating card here that gets installed, which goes in here, we come from the loop down into our standard conventional zone, and that means when that card activates, it tells the fire alarm panel to ring on zone 1. So pretty straightforward. Really where you're saving the money here is you're not putting in an addressable panel and that type of stuff. So if it's really a key thing, or if you have an existing conventional system and you really just need to extend it by one or two devices, and don't want to go to the cost or the difficulty of upgrading it to a fully addressable system, it's something to consider. We've used them. It's kind of limited applications, but they seem to be getting more and more popular as they go on. So this is the wireless I/O unit. That's essential. So you're going to need one of them anyway, just to get the system started. That's the termination block to go with this card. So that's a standard interface, and then it gets this card which allows it to interface more directly. And then this is the conventional wireless communicator unit, and this is a little bit like, if you're familiar with the hub and cluster, it's a similar kind of arrangement to that. You power this up, you'll pull the head, and when you have it in its search mode, you activate the head here, it automatically sees it, it displays up on the screen, and then that's it enrolled. So what happens here is if this actually detects fire, this unit sees the fire coming in and it tells the relay in the interface unit to change, and then it activates your conventional zone on your fire alarm panel. So that, you know, it's pretty straightforward. That's a very, very quick overview of that. If you need any more information on the conventional addressable fire alarm, or sorry, the conventional radio fire alarm, you can give us a call in the office, or get us by email, info@comsec.ie. Thanks very much.